this box is for this election, this box for this election. The color coding,
red, black, green.
Color coding responds to that. So the one with the red background is for the presidential. You drop it in the red box. The one with the green, you drop your House of Reps, you drop it in the green. The one with the black is for the Senate. You drop it in the Senate.
If you make a mistake and drop your Senate ballot in the presidential ballot, does that invalidate it?
Well, at one stage, some people believed so, but part of there's what we call sorting and counting. At the end of the day, you must sort and count. So all green ballot people, House of Reps, will be left on one pile. All for the Senate will be left in another pile, and all for the presidential is just to ease that sorting. So you sort it out first before you commence the stage.
On the presidential ballot, it's just the logos of the political parties and the acronym. But the acronym is not there. It's just a logo.
What it requires just the logos of all the parties that are
on the ballot.
there. For each, both Senate, both National Assembly and presidential. What you have the logos. Some parties have the acronym in the logos.
Okay.
Some do. So
as their logo.
Yeah. Some of them are the acronyms.
As part of their logo. Yes.
So back to the question. I know we have visuals from Anambra that will be coming in real soon. Back to that question of the delay in starting the process. I mean, if we got that live video footage from Maitama, and this is almost 9 a.m.
Yes.
That's the process is starting.
Past nine.
Past nine. So it's supposed to start at 8:30 on the dot. Correct. So going by that, they're late. And that's...
Yes.
Now you're talking about statistics.
Yes, in 92%.
So at what point do you say that's dereliction of duty?
No, look. I could easily read what it says. The election of duty is when you come without lawful excuse, good reason. In fact, let me read the
yes, please.
I think it's 26. Sorry, that's the oath. It says this 120, section 120 is the one. 120 sub 2. Any polling official who fails to report promptly at his or her polling unit on election day without lawful excuse, those are the operative words, commits an offense of dereliction of duty. So if you do have a lawful excuse, sometimes, for example, security people must be there to accompany the materials. You cannot move without security accompanying you. If the security men do parade and don't come on time, you cannot move. And so that's an excuse. And unfortunately, and this is part of people like our partner for electoral reform here, is when we're doing electoral reform, you see, like in the oath of neutrality, and it's extended to security officials, but this limits it to polling officials.
Okay.
So maybe it's, in terms of reform, we should extend to everybody partaking in the process, including security officials. If a security official doesn't come, they cannot move. If they move on anything until what happens, they'll be in problem.
Mr. Saze, let me just interrupt you there briefly. We have our correspondent, Kayla Megwa, who is live in the field. Kayla, just bring us up to speed. What's going on around you right now? Somewhere in Abuja. I'm not sure exact location where you are. Kayla, where are you and what's going on?
Yes, indeed. We are at the Model Secondary School in Maitama, Abuja, and voting has just started. Everything has been very easy, really, at this particular polling unit. 499 people are expected to cast their votes at this venue. And as you can see behind me, it's already started. I don't know if we can look at them. They've already formed the queues, and we can see them already getting accredited. Immediately after the accreditation, they get their voting situation, get it all together, it's all stamped, and then immediately they have their voting materials. They actually go straight to the booth and the voting begins. This queue has been here since about 8 a.m. The voting materials came early. The voters themselves, I think that was the most impressive part of this particular process, that the voters got here really early and have been a part of the process. The Inec officials started by posting their pictures and their names on the walls, and we saw them going to those walls to check if their names are here. We still had a situation where a few people thought this was going to be their polling unit, and it turned out not to be their polling unit. And we have quite a number of observers at this particular venue here at the Model Secondary School in Maitama. We have Joyce Banda is here. We also have the former president of Benin Republic here as well, all as election observers. The EU is here, the Democratic Institute, the Republican Institute, everyone is here. And one of the observers is actually here with us right now. If we can have a conversation with him from Yaga Africa, we have Mr. Samson Ito. Todo, who has been moving from one polling unit in Maitama to the other. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. So talk to us about what you've noticed so far.
Well, so far, at least the election is holding, and it's quite refreshing to see that we didn't postpone the elections. And since the last two previous elections, elections are holding. If you look at this polling unit, voters have really showed up. I'm really impressed with the number of people I've seen show up to cast their votes, and people are waiting patiently to cast their votes, and really commend Nigerians. And we expect for those who are at home thinking the election will not hold, please come out, and cast your vote, because as you can see, the elections are taking place. But there is a challenge, and we anticipated people were going to have challenges with locating their polling units this morning. In some of the polling units that I went to, people have stood on the queue for several minutes, and when it was their turn to get accredited, they were informed that their polling units have been moved. Some people got a text message, but they couldn't locate the new polling unit. And I want to urge voters who are showing up, if you're told that your polling units had been moved, please check, the polling units around that particular polling unit. But more importantly, check the voters register. In some locations, Inec posted the voters register. So check the voters register. The BVAS machines we've seen so far from the commencement of this exercise, they've been functioning. However, the fingerprint scanners or the fingerprint authentication has not functioned optimally. So most times, the presiding officers have resorted to the facial verification. And in one of the polling units I just left, all the people who have voted there pretty much just voted after facial verification.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with us on that.
Thank you. Always a delight.
So yes, just a few teething problems that we're seeing here. The BVAS machine here is actually working. We actually checked to see if the fingerprints is working. Also here, they don't have that problem, but probably a few of the polling units around this area, which we will be visiting just to see what the situation is. But voting has started in earnest. A lot of first-time voters at this particular venue, very excited about the process, and we'll be watching to see how it all unfolds. Back to you.